Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the 2024 Diamond Youth Baseball Ozone 12 and Under Division II World Series. We are in the middle of day one of the actual tournament play. Yesterday was pool play time. Today is you lose, you go in the loser's bracket. You win, you advance in the winner's bracket. And that's where we are today with our matchup between the team from South Carolina. They hail from West Columbia, the South Carolina state champions, and the team from Virginia. They hail from Amherst, Virginia, and they are matching up here on our second game of the day. We just finished a 11-1 Florida 4-inning win over the host Vivian, Louisiana. Another game still going on already this morning. It started at the same time as our early game. They are still finishing up between Alabama and Tennessee. The winner of this game will move into the game on Saturday. They would play at 4 o'clock on Saturday. Loser of this will slide down into an earlier game Saturday. We'll keep you updated on that as we roll through this game. South Carolina's on the field. They are the visiting team. And they are the home team. We'll get that right. And team from Virginia batting first are the visitors, and off we go is Riker Dawson stepping in for Virginia. They're in the red, white, and blue uniform. South Carolina in the navy and white. And here is our lineup for today. For South Carolina, it'll be for Virginia. We'll get their lineup right. I'm looking around trying to figure out who's who at the moment. There we go. There's a strike call, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's a lineup for your team for Virginia. It's Riker Dawson leading things off. He's playing shortstop. Olin Wright is going to be at third base. He'll bat second. Xander Mayo, the catcher, is batting third. Batting fourth will be Kendall Napier, the first baseman. Pitcher Hayden Simpson hitting fifth. Brady Deacon is the center fielder. He is going to bat in the number 6 spot. Colton Gibson is batting 7th. He's in right field. Henry Wright's going to bat 8th. Braden Mays, left fielder, is hitting 9th. Devin Vyers hitting in the 10 spot. And second baseman Stephen Allen will bat in the number 11 spot. Defensively for the kids from Virginia, Colton Boland's over at first base. Stephen Allen's at second. Let me do that again. Chasten Smith is at second. At third base is Lance Anfinson. And we've got our first base runner as Riker Dawson draws a base on balls. Shortstop is Cameron Pringle. In the outfield, Bentley Ritchie is in left field. Parker Burge is in center. Ryan Watkins in right. Braden Busby is behind the plate. And on the mound, Logan Hildebrand getting the start for South Carolina. South Carolina went 5-0 in their state tournament. They were the state's Region 4 champions. Stepping in now is Olin Wright for a base on balls for Riker Dawson. In the games yesterday involving these two teams, Virginia faced Texas in the opener. They lost to Texas 4-2. South Carolina was a winner 11-1 over the host from Vivian. But those games didn't matter. All they did was set up who was playing where today. 1 ball, no strikes. Olin Wright takes a swing and a miss. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. This is our first look at these two. We were on the opposite field from them yesterday. One ball and 1 strike. Hildebrand with a long look. He comes inside and misses with the pitch, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Virginia won their state title. They were the Division II winners by winning all 3 games they played. They outscored their opponents in their state tournament 37-5. Here's a pitch. That went outside, and off goes the runner, Dawson. Throw coming down from the catcher, but that's going to bounce off the shortstop and into left field. And well, the players were waving that Dawson should take another base. And third base coach said, nope, I think we're going to stay right where we are. Coaches for South Carolina are Terry Hildebrand, Brandon Busby, and Corey Anfinson. For Virginia, Bill Dawson, Jim Allen, and Jeff Mayo, coaching staff. All right, counts 3 balls and 1 strike to Virginia's Olin Wright. That's a strike right on the outside part of the plate. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. We had a bit of a rain delay. If you were tuning in expecting this to maybe be a noon start time, we got hit with rain early and delayed the beginning of this tournament play today by an hour. We were supposed to start at 10. We didn't get going until 11. And in the middle of the first game, we got another rain delay. So things are a little bit behind schedule, but it's not terrible. It's about an hour behind on this field. New baseball is any ball that's hitting the ground right now is going to collect moisture. They're going to be switching out baseballs as much as possible until things dry out. There is some wind, which will help a little bit. Throw behind Dawson, who gets in there safely. But there's still about a 50% chance of rain through the rest of the afternoon. So we may, at the moment, look like we're doing well, and then all of a sudden get hit with a pop-up shower. It's about 71, 72 degrees here in Bossier City, Louisiana, where this tournament's being held. Pitch is high, ball 4. So base on balls on back-to-back batters for Virginia's starting pitcher, Logan Hildenbrand. And here comes Xander Mayo up now. He's the catcher. Another throw down to second base, and that one scoots into left center field. Runner doesn't advance, and they'll reset. Again, runners at first and second now. Hildebrand getting a little jam early for South Carolina. Throw over to first, and diving back in there is Olin Wright. And Mayo called time, or tried to call time. Umpire didn't give it to him. Said the pitcher had already started his motion, and so you got to live with it. And Hildebrand throws a strike in there. It's no balls and 1 strike. Nobody out top of the first. And a swing and a miss. Mayo going at a pitch. Looked like it may have been a little bit out of the strike zone. He's in the hole. No balls and 2 strikes. Kendall Napier is the on-deck hitter for Virginia. Another throw over to first. They're very conscious of the base runners from South Carolina perspective. They don't want anybody to get too far out ahead. Threw several times over at second, a couple times over at first already. Here's the pitch, just off the plate. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes to Xander Mayo. We've yet to see a home run on this park through a day in a game. We've had 4 games here, and nobody's really hit one far in this park. There were a couple hit on the adjacent park, but not on this one. Pitch down low. That's called a ball. With 2 runners on, Hildebrand taking his time, comes to the plate. This one smacked into right field, and it's going to be a fair ball. Runners moving up to second and third. They kind of had to wait on that to see if it was going to be foul or not. And as a result, none of the runners got in to score. And South Carolina's coach coming in quickly to talk to his team. Xander Mayo with the first hit of the ball game. Bases loaded now for Virginia. And while there's nobody out, Kendall Napier is about to step in. But first, South Carolina having a little conversation on the mound with the infield. It's been 2 walks and a base hit. A dying quail, if you will, right along that right field line. And this is a couple of things here. Conversation on a couple of different fronts. One of them is, where do we want to go with a baseball with bases loaded and nobody out? And the other one is they don't want to get off to a slow start here. This is an important place. Do we play this for an out at home where we'd have a force? Or do we play this to try to get a double play? Here's the pitch on the way from Hildebrand. Down low, ball 1. As he wipes his hands on his pants, you can see the moisture bothering him already. 1 ball, no strikes. Left-handed hitting Kendall Napier in there. Pitch high, ball 2. Napier's going to be the first baseman today for the team for Virginia. — 20 pitches already Hildebrand has thrown. 40 tends to be the stopping spot for the pitch for the coaches, for their pitchers. Ground ball, this is going to be trouble up the middle. Grabbed by the shortstop, throw on the run, bounces in. They get a double play out of it. 1 run comes in to score, but we got an injured player over at second base. As there was a collision at the bag at second. So run comes in to score in the person of Riker Dawson to make it 1-0 Virginia. But well done by the shortstop, Cameron Pringle, who had to short hop that ball, took it himself to the bag, and made the throw on the run to double off Kendall Napier and wipe out 2 runners. Olin Wright goes to third base, so the conversation about where do we go? Do we give up the run? There was really no choice for Cameron Pringle. He had to really go to second base and then was fortunate to be able to turn it for 2. So a run comes in, 2 outs though, and here's Hayden Simpson, the pitcher. As Hildebrand starts him off with one right down the middle. This is popped up into center field and will be caught by center fielder Parker Burge, and that'll end the inning. So bases loaded and nobody out. And South Carolina manages to wiggle their way out of that with just 1 run given up. There was 1 hit in the inning. No errors and 1 man left on base. Top of the first is in the books. It's 1-0. Virginia with the lead. South Carolina coming to bat when we come back here on Game Day. Alrighty, welcome back to Bossier City. We are in the middle of the second game of our schedule here on our field. Virginia against South Carolina. Here's the lineup for South Carolina. Ryan Watkins going to lead things off, the right fielder. Pitcher Logan Hildebrand to hit second. Cheston Smith, second baseman, batting third. Catcher Braden Busby will hit in the cleanup spot. Colton Bolin, the first baseman, hitting fifth. Lance Anfinson at third base will bat sixth. Batting seventh is left fielder Bentley Ritchie. Parker Burge, the center fielder, hitting eighth. Batting ninth is extra player Logan Whitney. Also will be behind the plate some. Cameron Pringle, the shortstop's hitting in the 10 spot. And batting 11th is Baskins McGraw. That's the group for South Carolina. Defensively, here's Virginia. Kendall Napier's at first. Stephen Allen is at second. Riker Dawson at short. Olin Wright at third. Brady Mays is out in left field. Brady Deacon is in center. Colton Gibson in right. And Xander Mayo is behind the plate with Hayden Simpson getting the start today. Simpson flew out to end the inning at the plate, and now he'll take over on the mound. As he finishes up his warm-up tosses. Again, South Carolina got a win yesterday as they put up 11 in the opening game. A tougher game for Virginia as they had to deal with the team from Texas, New Diana, Texas. Lost to them 4-2. All right, we're ready to roll. Bottom of the first inning. A little wind picking up out in center field. It is blowing out to left at the moment. And the first pitch from Hayden Simpson, over the head and behind leadoff man Ryan Watkins. This is a lineup for Virginia with 3 lefties and a couple of guys who are switch hitters, which is the most diverse lineup we've seen. Although South Carolina's got 3 lefties and 1 switch hitter. 2-0 count. Let's make it 3-0. His pitch was down low. Again, the struggle today is going to be for pitchers, trying to deal with a wet baseball in cool conditions. 3-0 pitch, down low, ball 4. So a quick base on balls for Ryan Watkins. And South Carolina's got their leadoff man on with Logan Hildebrand coming up. West Columbia, town of about 18,000 or so. Pitch on the way. Runner was off and going, and he takes second base, takes a hard turn to third. Catcher still hadn't thrown the ball because he didn't have a third baseman there. Third baseman Olin Wright came charging in when that ball went past the catcher to the backstop. Xander Mayo went and chased it down, and as he turned to throw to third, he didn't have a third baseman. So he had to wait, and while he's doing that, Ryan Watkins just kept rolling around the bases. He ends up at third. And now the count's 2 balls and no strikes to Logan Hildebrand. Hildebrand, one of those lefties. And actually, Hildebrand's one of those switch hitters. Pitch up high, ball 3. So Hayden Simpson not happy with that baseball. If you're watching us for the first time, the infield here at the Sports Complex at Bossier has turf all the way around the infield, but when you get past the infield, it turns to natural grass. So you may see a little shadowed bump out on your screen. Pitch inside, ball 4, so back-to-back walks for the batters from South Carolina, kind of reminiscent of what happened at the top of the first, when the first 2 Virginia batters got put on with free passes, and right away we get little conversation at the mound. Same thing that we saw with the last team. The top of the inning, South Carolina's coach came out in a hurry, and here's Coach Bill Dawson doing the same, talking to his guys. Although he didn't wait till bases were loaded. This is all about pitcher, we got to throw strikes. South Carolina, the home of a guy named Hal Jeffcoat. Jeffcoat played baseball back in the 40s and 50s. His older brother, George, was the last Brooklyn Dodger to wear number 42 before Jackie Robinson. Pitch in there for a called strike to Chaston Smith, the second baseman. This one hit to left center. That's going to get down. 1 run's coming around to score. Here comes a second right behind it. Throw airmailed from center field, and Smith's going to go to second standing up. So a 2-run base hit for Chaston Smith. As Ryan Watkins and Logan Hildebrand came in to score. And South Carolina jumps out to a 2-1 lead. That's the lesson over and over again. Walks will kill you. They hurt South Carolina in the top of the first, and now South Carolina is being the beneficiary of a couple of walks here in the bottom of the first. 2-1. South Carolina takes the lead. And here's Braden Busby, the catcher. First pitch, a strike from Hayden Simpson. Pitch just a little wide. We got a ball and a strike. We got a little timeouts. A ball, I guess. Yeah, ball got off of the commons area. Some kids are playing with some of the balls they're selling here for Diamond Youth Baseball, and one of them got out on the field. Pitch high and outside, ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. So walk, and a 2-run single, and South Carolina's taking an early lead. Hard grounder, well, it's fair ball. Looked like it was wide of first base, but it was on the inside of it. And now the run's going to come around to score from second base as Chaston Smith scores on the double by Braden Busby. And South Carolina jumps out to now a 3-1 lead. It's a hard hit ball just inside the bag. Nothing that the first baseman over there, Kendall Napier, could do with it. And here's Colton Bolin, the first baseman. 3-1 South Carolina. Looking for some more. Went with a big breaking ball that apparently got the top end of the strike zone for strike 1. The key to being successful, it looks like here, is aggressive on the bases. There's a pitch outside, and for a second it looked like Braden Busby may try to move over to third, but he held on. You saw that from teams from Mississippi yesterday. We're seeing it here from South Carolina. We'll put a lot of pressure on the defensive side of the ball, a lot of pressure on the pitcher and catcher. It's high risk, high reward, but it works. 3 balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch. That one's low. They had 3 now. Let's see. They call one of those a strike. 3-1. Yep. 3 balls and 1 strike. That's right. The first pitch they threw was up in the zone for strike 1. So it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Ground ball toward third. Wright's got it. Throw in time to retire the batter, Colton Bolin, for the first out of the inning. Busby moves over to third on the play. So with 1 away and a runner at third, the number 6 hitter in the lineup, third baseman Lance Anfinson, comes up. South Carolina got a chance to maybe get 1 more in this inning. First pitch, fastball up top for ball 1. Those starting pitchers now have thrown more than 20 pitches in this first inning. And at that rate, you're looking at 2 innings out of a starter. Low and inside, ball 2. Ball 3 on the high fastball. South Carolina and Virginia both unbeaten in their state tournament. Here's the pitch. That's a strike. 3 balls and 1 strike. Anfinson taken all the way at 3-0. And the 3-1. This ball hit up in the air, but it is curling foul out of play. Got the top of one of the adjoining press boxes. There are 10 fields here at our sports complex because we're not the only ones playing our World Series. Not just Ozone, but also AAA and the majors for Diamond Youth Baseball, all for the Division II, are playing their series this week. Fastball misses, ball 4. Third walk of the inning now from starter Hayden Simpson. And runners go to the corners first and third for Bentley Ritchie, the left fielder. So it's been a walk, a single, a double, a ground out, and another walk. And off goes the runner right away. Anfinson didn't even wait. It's kind of been the MO. Take off before the pitcher even starts his pitch. And runners are at second and third now with 1 away. No more double play chance. Another pitch missing wide. And it counts 2 balls, no strikes. On deck, Parker Burge. 3-0, low and away. South Carolina got a break with a double play. That really helped them out in the top of the inning, and there's another base on balls. 4th walk of the inning. Yep, and we're going to get another trip to the mound, and that may be all she wrote for starter Hayden Simpson. He just struggled to find the strike zone, and Virginia's going to have to change pitchers here in the bottom of the 1st inning. Now, the good news is he didn't throw more than 40. In fact, he was at roughly 28. So still usable for tomorrow. That's not going to be a problem. Now the problem is, can his teammates pick him up? And shortstop Riker Dawson is going to come onto the mound. He'll be the guy that gets the ball next. A little shifting of defense while they're doing that. Olin Wright, I believe, is going to move over to shortstop, and Hayden Simpson, I think, is going to move over to 3rd. We'll see if they make any other adjustments. And what Riker Dawson inherits is runners on all the bases. Got Braden Busby over at 3rd base, Lance Anfinson at 2nd. Bentley Ritchie is going to be standing on 1st base when Parker Burge comes in. This is the risky part of this when you're a coach. You typically want your best defensive player at shortstop, but you can't get behind so far that you lose touch with your opponent. So if your shortstop's your best defensive player, we're going to have to move some folks around and compensate for us having to move him to the mound. So Olin Wright's going to move to short. Hayden Simpson, well, he started to move over to 3rd. Instead, they've moved somebody else to 3rd. I can get a number over there. But with bases loaded, Parker Burge is coming in. All the runners on base are the property of the starter Hayden Simpson. He leaves the game having given up 1 hit and 4 walks in the first pitch. Breaking ball to Burge for a called strike. Ball hit in the air, center field. Grab there for the out. Throw coming to the plate. It's a little bit high and sliding in after tagging up is going to be the runner at 3rd. However, the inning's going to end as Virginia defensively comes up with a pretty big play. So the sacrifice fly scored Braden Busby from 3rd base, but trying to tag up and go to 3rd, Lance Anfinson got thrown out on the way. That'll end the inning. 4 runs come across, however, for South Carolina as they take a 4-1 lead. We'll take a break, come back for the top of the 2nd after this break on Game Day. All right, welcome back. Top of the 2nd inning, 4-1 ball game. South Carolina with a lead over Virginia. How about Riker Dawson that checked into the game on the mound, threw a strike and threw a ball that ended up resulting in an 8-2-5 double play. A fly out to center on the sacrifice fly, a throw back to the catcher who threw it to 3rd to retire Lance Anfinson trying to tag up. So we'll go into the top of the 2nd inning now. Brady Deacon, the center fielder, is going to lead things off. Colton Gibson and Henry Wright to follow for Virginia. And Logan Hildebrand, who struggled a little bit early on throwing strikes. Walked the first two batters he faced. Was a pretty big beneficiary of a 6-3 double play. Now he comes in for the second. Brady Deacon will step in, and away we'll go. Start inning number 2. A little pressure off of Hildebrand now with the lead to work with. First pitch missing outside. That's ball 1. We're at the 6, 7, and 8 hitters in Virginia's lineup. That one down low, ball 2. See how long of a leash head coach Terry Hildebrand lets Logan have before he pulls him if he can't throw strikes. This one fouled back. And it counts 2 balls and 1 strike. But you got a little cushion to deal with now if you're on the mound. You don't have to be perfect. Hildebrand ready. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Went off speed a little bit, and you can see the look on Brady Deacon as he stepped out of the box and unhappy at that swing. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Goes after one up in the zone. This ball lifted into right field. Second baseman calling everybody off and making the play. Chaston Smith for the first out of the second inning. Colton Gibson, now the right fielder coming up. I feel like Hildebrand may be settling in a little bit now. Gibson from the left side. And the pitch, down low, ball 1. Waiting on deck, Henry Wright, who's one of the extra players, extra hitters. Everybody hits in the lineup here. They put them all in, 1 through 11, or 12 if your roster's 12 deep. And then everybody plays in the field, at least for an inning. 2 balls and no strikes as Hildebrand misses low inside. A little different thrown to a lefty. And he bounces in another one, 3-0. Bases here 70 feet apart. That's what they do with ozone. 60 at the lower levels. And there's ball 4. So 4 straight walks, or 4 straight pitches, and that's walk number 3. Logan Hildebrand. Henry Wright now stepping in. So you saw Brady Mays flash in front of the camera. He'll be the next hitter. 1 out, top of the second. 4-1 lead for the team from South Carolina as Hildebrand throws a strike to Henry Wright to start the at-bat. No balls and 1 strike. It's maybe the last batter for Hildebrand if his coach is trying to keep him under his 40. And this is there, 1-1. I'm almost freaked out to say I may be done with rain for a little while. I don't want to jinx that. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch misses. Throw down to second base. Not in time as Colton Gibson swipes the base. 2 balls and 1 strike now as pitch to right missed. And I think Henry may want to switch bats. Coach out there with a little discussion about not letting runners take bases like that. I want to make sure that you're paying attention there. Wright decides to keep the bat he had. grabbed another one and decided, I like my first one better. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Pitch low, ball 3. That's pitch number 35 for Logan Hildebrand. Ball 4. Back-to-back walks. Runners at first and second, and with 36 pitches on the books, that may be all. They're going to have to make a switch. So South Carolina going to have to make a decision about who's going to throw the ball next. 4-1 lead, and we're going to shift some players around and taking the ball. For South Carolina, Lance Anfinson. He's going to be moving from his third base spot, so we'll shift some guys around as Anfinson starts warming up. 36 pitches for Logan Hildebrand. Got to push the button. Yeah. You got to push talk.
Yes.
I got number 17 on the mound, number 3 is going to short, and number 14 is going to third.
Now, you may have heard some of that. We've got some shifting around of players as Lance Anfinson comes to the mound. Logan Hildebrand's going to move over, and Cameron Pringle is as well. Hildebrand will move to shortstop. Pringle's going to move from shortstop to third. As Anfinson finishes up, he will face Brady Mays. Left fielder for the kids from Virginia. They trail 4-1, but got runners on first and second base, and the tying run coming to the plate in the person of left-handed hitting Brady Mays. First pitch, called strike. Anfinson looking a little intimidating with the sunglasses on. He appears that he can't see his eyes. Kind of freak you out. What's he looking at? Is he looking at you? Is he looking at somebody else? No balls and 1 strike. He's spinning. Boy, very close. Good move by Anfinson. Normally, you spin the other direction, but he spun to his right and not his left and had a really close play over there with Colton Gibson. 1 out, top of the second. 4-1 lead. Ground ball, hard one toward the dugout on the third base side. Counts no balls, 2 strikes now. Devin Vire waiting on deck. We're down to the number 9 hitter in Virginia's lineup. Another move. This time he went the other direction, spun to his left, and close again. These teams very deliberate about holding on base runners. Pitch misses outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A little cat and mouse going on between Colton Gibson over at second base and Lance Anfinson, the pitcher. Swung on, lifted foul out of play. It's still 1 ball, 2 strikes on Brady Mays. Anfinson with a little bit different delivery motion. It's almost like it almost looks like he's throwing a screwball the way his arm angle comes over. You don't see kids at 12 and under doing that. Just got an interesting delivery. This time he goes low. Ball gets away from the catcher, and both base runners are going to move up on the wild pitch. So runners at second and third now. First base is open. The count fills up to Brady Mays, 3 balls and 2 strikes after he was in the hole 0-2. And got him looking. What a clutch pitch by Anfinson. Caught the outside part of the plate for the strikeout and the second out of the inning. And here is the number 10 hitter, DIV, who will step in. It's a big at-bat for this young man. All right, we're ready to roll. Catcher setting up outside. Pitch comes there and just a little bit low for ball 1. Colton Gibson's over at third. Henry Wright's at second. 2 outs, top of the second inning. This one jammed off the hands. Ball looping into shallow right. Can't make a catch. 1 run comes in to score to make it a 4-2 ball game. Chaston Smith got over there, and a little miscommunication between Colton Bolin and Chaston Smith trying to decide whose ball that was. And it falls in there for a hit. And an RBI for Devin Vier as Colton Gibson comes in to score from third. Henry Wright goes to third base. And Virginia's cut the lead down to 2. And here's the number 9 hitter, Stephen Allen, the second baseman. Or number 11 hitter. Pop this one up. Smith going out. Looking for it. Got it. And that'll end the inning. Virginia picks up 1 run, though, courtesy of a couple of bases on balls and a base hit. They leave 2 men on base. As we'll go to the bottom of the second, 4-2, South Carolina with the lead. You're watching us here on Game Day. Welcome back. Chuck Zach along with you here on Game Day. We've got some defensive changes going on for the folks from South Carolina, or for Virginia rather, excuse me. South Carolina will bat the bottom 3 of their lineup. It'll be Logan Whitney, Cameron Pringle, and Baskins McGraw. As they will face Riker Dawson, second pitcher of the day for the young men from South Carolina. Trail now 4-2. As we get ready to start the bottom of the second. Dawson came in relief. The starter Hayden Simpson, after Simpson got in some trouble in the bottom of the first inning. All right, we're ready to roll. Here is Logan Whitney. First pitch from Dawson. Whoa, came inside on him. He's got a breaking ball, but he threw it a little bit too close for the liking of Mr. Whitney. Breaking ball again. That one catches that inside part of the plate. Riker Dawson's got a very nice breaking ball. As he backed off, Whitney kind of throws it at him. Ball hit toward the second baseman, gloved on the line. And that will be out number 1 as Stephen Allen makes the play at second base for out number 1. Cameron Pringle now the shortstop. Now third baseman comes to the plate. First pitch, a little bit high, ball one. Pringle batting from that right side. He's got the open stance. A little waggle to that bat. There's that breaking ball again. Tell you what, it's real deceptive. He's throwing it right at the batter and then breaking it back over the inside part of the plate. We'll see if he's got one of those. He starts in the middle and breaks away from the plate. Boy, a looping curve that time that Pringle took a hack at. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Riker Dawson looking in. Now they do set up away from him, and there's the same breaking ball. Fielded by Dawson, who's also the shortstop. Throw in time for the out, and there's 2 away. Well, there's your benefit of moving your shortstop to the mound. You really have the best fielder closest to the batter, and on a ball like that where it's been topped, does not panic, grabs that with the bare hand, knows how much time he's got, and threw out Cameron Pringle. So here's a number 11 hitter, Baskins McGraw. Extra fielder, also the left fielder. Fastball underneath the catcher for ball 1. Dawson's been efficient so far. Came in through 2 pitches to end the first inning and has barely thrown any here. I think he's at 7 now. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball doesn't come back. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Unlike the 2 starters who threw a bunch of pitches, Dawson's been able to get outs without having to throw too many. There's ball 3. Well, I jinxed the heck out of that as he's missed on 3 straight pitches now. Two outs here in the bottom of the second. Yep, missed again, ball 4. Now 4 straight pitches out of the zone. And Dawson walks the number 11 hitter with 2 outs, and Ryan Watkins, top of the order, comes up. Watkins walked and scored in the first. Watkins taking a long look down at his third base coach for the signs. Another breaking ball up high. Nobody going anywhere as McGraw never even left the bag at first base. 1 ball, no strikes. There's been 5 straight misses now for Riker Dawson. Make it 6 in a row as he missed outside with a fastball. It's 2-0. Here's the pitch. 3-0. And the 3-0 pitch, that one's there for a fastball. Called strike. He's been throwing a lot of breaking balls. Had not thrown a whole lot of straight heat, and that one he got in there. Start off with the fastball next time. Got another one outside corner, and he fills up the count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Riker Dawson taking back control of this count after he fell behind 3-0. Breaking ball, little high and inside. Boy, Dawson hopping up and down. He wanted that pitch, but it was a little bit high. And Watkins gets on with a base on balls. That's 2 of them in this inning now. And here's Logan Hildebrand. Hildebrand with a walk and a run himself in the first. South Carolina with a 4-2 lead. They got a couple of runners on here. Ball 1.
Next inning, we've also got switching up catchers. 6 going in.
Ball 2, pitch up high. They'll throw down to first base on the snap throw, but getting back in there safely was Watkins. 2 balls, no strikes. Well, after getting the first 2 outs of this inning, it's been back-to-back walks. Number 11 hitter on 4 straight pitches and walked the leadoff man on a full count. Now it's 3-0 again to the number 2 hitter. That one's back in there. At 3-0, Dawson just seems to relax a little bit and just groove the ball into the strike zone. 3 balls and 1 strike. And misses wide. Ball 4.
Number 42, Chaston Smith.
Yep, there we go. We were waiting to see if Coach would come out of the dugout, and he just did. The Virginia's coach taking the walk out, and he's really doesn't have much choice. He wants Dawson just to throw strikes. That's the place right now, and he kind of lost the zone after he got to the 11 hitter. Has not been able to lock back in on the zone. Walked him on 4 pitches, got a full count and walked Watkins, and then fell behind 3-0 to Hildebrand. So brief little discussion. Chaston Smith, who singled and knocked in 2 runs his first at bat, is going to have a chance to maybe knock in some more with runners at first and second and third. McGraw's in third base. Watkins is at second. Hildebrand's at first. Breaking ball. Got that one in there for a strike. Top end of the zone. No balls and 1 strike. Pitch came inside. Ball 1. Kind of ran that in on Chaston Smith. Braden Busby is the on-deck hitter. Oh, and that one rolled in on him and hit him. Chaston Smith's going to go down to first base, and South Carolina is going to pick up another run. An RBI for Smith. That's his 3rd of the game. As Baskins-McGraw comes in from third base. Watkins to third. Hildebrand goes down to second. And it's not an easy RBI. You just took a ball that hit you. Oh, now there's a little discussion going on with the coach about if that ball got him on the hand/wrist or if that's part of the bat. And that's a conversation he's not going to win. Umpire called that a hit batter, and Chaston Smith goes down to first base. So here's Braden Busby, bases loaded, 2 away. 5-2 lead now for South Carolina. Fastball high and away, ball 1. Boy, it didn't seem like that long ago when we were talking about this. Riker Dawson's innings were quick and in control, and now all of a sudden he's a little unhappy. He's now got a 2-0 count. And overthrows a bit with the fastball to make it 3-0. Dawson, who had 7 pitches when we made that mention with 2 outs, now has 27. And gets that one on the black of the plate away from the left-handed hitter, Braden Busby. Busby doubled his first time up. Got another one there for a called strike. 3 balls and 2 strikes. That's been the MO. Fall behind 3-0 and come back. Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss. And Dawson finally gets that 3rd strike and out of the inning. A long time coming, but 1 run comes across for South Carolina. They do that courtesy of no hits. There were 3 walks and a hit batter, and bases were left loaded. South Carolina's left on 5 through the first 2 innings. They lead at 5-2. We'll take a break and come right back. Top of the 3rd when we return here on Game Day. All right, welcome back. Top of the third inning. Our matchup here between South Carolina, who's on the field in the blue and white, Virginia in the red, white, and blue that's about to bat. 5-2 lead for the home team, South Carolina. What we have as a result when this one is over is winner actually pushes through. They kind of get, I guess, a bye, if you will. They'll push through to the Sunday, or actually the late Saturday game, the 4 o'clock game on Saturday. They would get the winner of Florida and I don't know if it was Alabama or Tennessee that won in their early game today. The loser of this ends up sliding down because this is game number 3. They would slide down to playing at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. All right, we go to the third now. Lance Anfinson on the mound, or Lance Anfinson on the mound, rather, for South Carolina now as we start the third inning. Swing and a miss to Dawson, Riker Dawson, who's leading off this inning. He walked and scored in the first. He's in the hole now, no balls and 2 strikes. Anfinson in relief himself. That pitch just misses off the plate as he came in for Logan Hildebrand. The 2-1-2s, strike 3 looking, and Dawson is the first out of the inning. Anfinson's now had 3 strikeouts so far. Olin Wright, number 2 hitter in the lineup, steps in. He walked and got stranded at third first time up. There's the pitch. Fastball high and inside, ball 1. To follow right will be Xander Mayo. It's the 1-2-3 hitters in the Virginia lineup. They trail 5-2. A good fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Little body language issues going on for Virginia right now. They're not exactly a happy lot. They need something positive to happen. 2 balls and a strike on the missed pitch outside by Anfinson. Change behind the plate as Logan Whitney's come in to catch. Fastball low. 3 balls and 1 strike. The defensive change, Baskins McGraw is now out in left field for South Carolina. 3 balls and 1 strike. That's a good one. Strike 2. Olin Wright thought that was inside, and he kind of taps himself on the chest, says to the umpire, that was my bad. My bad. Smart. Respect the umpire there. Don't want to show him up. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Ground ball off his own leg. That'll be a foul ball. We'll do 3-2 again as he flexes a little bit that right foot/ankle. A lot of batters will wear some kind of a shin guard on the front foot. That one actually looked like he got him on the back foot. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Swung on, hit to center, and that's going to get down and roll past the center fielder for a base hit for Olin Wright. Right, with a walk and a single now. He's been on base both times he's come up. And it gives Virginia a little something to talk about. We're talking they needed something positive. That may be it. Xander Mayo up now. Mayo singled and then was retired on the double play that Kendall Napier hit into. Quick throw over as Anfinson driving back the base runner, Olin Wright. And there's a little slow getting up. I don't know if glove or the ball, or diving back into the bag. Something bothered right over at first base. He's off and running. Here comes the throwdown from Whitney. And just a little bit late as Wright steals second base. Virginia trying to get back that run they gave up in the second inning. No balls and one strike to count. Ooh, a little bit up, I guess. It's 1-1 now. It's a ball and a strike on our batter, Xander Mayo. Kendall Napier is the on-deck hitter. 1 ball, 1 strike. Wright's the runner at second, and the ball bounces off of Wright and almost went by the center fielder. A heck of a play out in center field by Parker Burge. That ball bounced off. It looked like the helmet of Wright, and had he not been paying attention out in center, that ball may have gone all the way to the wall. Very strange turn of events there. Pitch down low, 2 balls and 1 strike now to Xander Mayo. Mayo with a single already, and now we're going to get another trip to the mound as Hanfinson, who's thrown 24 pitches. He's in pretty good shape yet. He's got another 15 or so before you really want to pull him, and I think this conversation's a little bit about release point, because this is not an infield conversation. It's just one with the coach and the pitcher. If the weather holds tomorrow, play starts early tomorrow morning. We'll start at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, and probably go till 8. The last game scheduled to start tomorrow at 8 o'clock. It's going to be a long Saturday out here at Bossier City. This ball hit up in the air, foul territory. 3 guys coming on from South Carolina, but none of them, Whitney, Hanfinson, or Cameron Pringle, none of the 3 could get to that one, so we'll do it again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We'll have a couple of games at 10, a couple of games at noon, a couple of games at 2, 2 more at 4, 2 more at 6, and finally the last game of the day tomorrow at 8 o'clock. And that's only if the schedule actually holds to starting a game at 8 o'clock. It may be a much later night than that. Another foul ball. Count still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Of course, tomorrow's elimination day. Anybody that did not win today is in danger of being wiped out tomorrow. Hanfinson come to the plate. Oh, a little bit high again. He's been a little bit high a couple times, and now it's 3-2. Good eye from Xander Mayo. He went after one a little bit high, tried to check his swing and fouled that off, and we'll do it again. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Hanfinson's about to get to his 30th pitch. Low ball 4. It's a good at bat for Xander Mayo. He hung in there and fought for quite a while on that one. A couple of close pitches, fouled off a couple pitches. And now Kendall Napier comes up. Napier hit a ball that ended up being a 6-3 double play that Cameron Pringle turned. Swing and a miss on the first pitch. 1 out here in the top of the 3rd. Another swing and a miss. 2 pitches. He's staying away from Kendall Napier's sweet spot, just a little outside the plate. No balls, 2 strikes. Pickoff play towards second base, and diving back in there safely is Owen Wright. Becker Dawson started this inning with a strikeout. Wright singled. Mayo walked. Now with 1 away, runners at first and second, and an 0-2 count to first baseman Kendall Napier. Got a piece of that one, and we'll redo it. Ozone World Series here in Louisiana for a second time. First time it's been in Bossier. And in Ruston, Louisiana. That one's high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ozone started back in 2006. This is really the 3rd layer of these under 10s and then under 12s. Pitch high, fastball, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Started with the majors back in 1956. Alexandria, Louisiana hosted the majors tournament for the first time. 1998, started AAA play with Hattiesburg being the host. This one fouled back again. And in 2006, it was the Ozone. Dothan, Alabama hosted the first Ozone World Series. Lexington, South Carolina's had a couple of turns. They may be getting another one soon. And Laurel, Mississippi has hosted a couple times. 3 balls and 2 strikes now as Napier looks at another one that goes by outside. 36th pitch from Anfinson. Missed again, ball 4, bases loaded. A single, a walk, and a walk. And Virginia's got the bases juiced.
Yes.
Yeah, let's see if they're going to let Anfinson throw. He may get another pitch or 2, but maybe no more than 3. As in steps Hayden Simpson. Throw over to first. And I did not see the umpire call an out over there. He dove back in, did Kendall Napier. And they did get him. I didn't see. I'm screened by the brick here in the press box, but they picked out Napier. Swing and a miss on Simpson. So there's 2 outs now. Hayden Simpson flew out to center field first time up. They'll throw over to third base. I'll tell you what, they'd love to get the outs on the bases and not even have to count them as pitches. That's what they did with Napier. Swing and a miss on the fastball, and it counts no balls and 2 strikes. All right, Lance Anfinson trying to work out of this. Here comes a pitch. Swing and a miss on his 40th pitch. He strikes out Hayden Simpson for the 3rd out of the inning to end the 3rd. No runs for Virginia. They had 1 hit and 2 men left on. Bottom of the 3rd coming up, 5-2. South Carolina with the lead. You're watching us here on Game Day. Welcome back as we move to the bottom of the third inning. You can see a kind of an empty field in your screen. Virginia had a long conversation with their coaching staff. In fact, they're still having it and haven't gone out on the field yet. Now they're starting to trickle out there. So no pitchers have actually gotten a chance to throw any warm-up tosses. South Carolina's ready to go. Colton Boland's standing at the plate, but we don't have any defensive players out just yet. And certainly no warm-up tosses. I don't know if they're going to get any now. The umpires are probably not going to let them stand there and take forever. This is a long time between innings that Virginia's getting themselves set. 5-2 the score. Earlier today on this same field, it was Florida who struggled early in the game against the host from Vivian. Had a couple of chances, did Vivian, to take a lead or pull off an upset, and they left a lot of runners on bases in the first couple of innings of that ball game, and ultimately Florida had an 8-run third inning, and that was all she wrote. They won 11-1. Xander Mayo's standing on the mound. He doesn't have a catcher. And there's rather long conversation still going on between the umpiring crew and the coaches from Virginia. Yeah, this is a little longer and more animated than you expect. Now the catcher finally comes out of the dugout. Looks like that's going to be Colton Gibson behind the plate. He'd been in right field. So Xander Mayo is going to get a chance to warm up now with Gibson. Remind folks about the fact that the officers and directors are all non-paid volunteers. Diamond Youth Baseball is really reliant on volunteers who are willing to step up and do things to help this organization work. The officers for Diamond Youth Baseball include the president, Kent Bruxfort from Rogers, Arkansas, Vice President David Jackson from Parkton, North Carolina. Robert Hudgens is the secretary. He's from Searcy, Arkansas. Wes Skelton from Marshall, Texas, is the treasurer. And then, of course, the commissioner was William Wade from Wetumpka, Alabama. His deputy is Jay Bennett from Clemson, South Carolina. And Louisiana is our host state this year, and we recognize Eric DeVille, the state director of Diamond Youth Baseball. Again, we've got the Division II finals this weekend. Next weekend, it'll be the bigger communities, Division I, as they'll show up here in Bossier. They'll start play instead of Thursday like Division II did. They'll start on Friday. And their championship, if it goes all the way to the end, would be next Wednesday or a week from next Wednesday. All right, Xander Mayo got a chance to throw some pitches. He's got Gibson, his catcher. And in comes South Carolina's number 5 hitter, Colton Boland. He grounded out to third last time up. And the first pitch from Mayo misses wide, ball 1. Hayden Simpson started the game on the mound for Virginia. Riker Dawson followed him. And now it's Xander Mayo. Ball 2, pitch outside. Boland, Anfinson, and Bentley Ritchie scheduled to bat for South Carolina here in the third. This game's scheduled to go 6. This one's dragging on a little bit now. With all the bases on balls, and now a 3-0 count, and 3 straight misses by Xander Mayo on pitches out of the zone and wide to Colton Boland. That one's better. It's in there for a strike. Boland didn't think so, but the home plate umpire did. The 3-1. Nope. Ball 4 as he was wide again. So base on balls to open up this inning. South Carolina had a pair of walks to start the game in the first. Those guys scored. There were a pair of walks, actually 3 walks in the second inning. First one of those scored. And now we start the third inning with a base on balls. And in comes Lance Anfinson. He walked and ultimately got thrown out at third base. Pitch catches the outside part of the plate, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike now to Lance Anfinson. That pitch up high, 2-1. Wind letting up just a little bit as it blows out toward left field. It was a little gustier about a half hour ago. Lights have been on here at field number 10 since we got going at 11 o'clock this morning. 2 balls and 1 strike. Bolin getting his lead. Not a big one. He's not pushing it. Breaking ball caught the plate. And it counts 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fastball got him looking. Anfinson never moved the bat, and he strikes out without taking a swing for the first out of the third inning. Number 7 hitter now, left fielder Bentley Ritchie up. Ritchie walked. Was the last batter that starter Hayden Simpson faced. Pitch outside, ball 1. Parker Burge, center fielder, is on deck. Fastball, that one with the outside part of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mayo's worked everybody middle out so far. Here he comes again. This one off the helmet of his catcher, Gibson. It allows Bolin to head down to second base on the pass ball.
Hey, knock, knock. Number 3 for us has been removed from the game by me. So for disciplinary purposes, the umpire said I could tell you guys, and he won't play the field. Dawson. Oh, Dawson.
This one lifted out of play and foul. And the count's 2 balls and 2 strikes. And you may have heard in the background the fact that we've had a player removed from the game by the coach from Virginia. So with 2 balls and 2 strikes. Oh, good pitch that time. Mayo strikes out Ritchie looking. So back-to-back strikeouts looking. There's 2 away here in the inning. As Parker Burge comes up. Burge with a sacrifice fly he hit back in the first inning. It's the play that resulted in Anfinson getting thrown out trying to go from second to third after the ball was thrown in toward home. First pitch, a ball to him. And that one inside, ball 2. Two-oh count, Parker Burge. There's one on the outside. Strike 1. Mayo's starting to settle in a little bit now after he walked Colton Bolin. Back-to-back strikeouts of Anfinson and Ritchie. He misses wide this time. Bolin's taking a long, long lead at second base. Gibson thought about it for a second, making a throw down there. But he is really getting off the bag and then really going from there. And they'll throw back behind him this time. And they're seeing it too. And Bolin's back easily. And here he goes again. Just messing with the pitcher a little bit. Mayo, good pitch. Ground ball back up the middle. It gets into center field. They're going to hold Bolin up at third base. They're still holding him. Runner's going to try to go from first to second. That's Burge who does. So Parker Burge with a base hit and ends up at second base. Colton Bolin held up at third. So runners are at second and third with 2 away, and Logan Whitney coming up. Whitney had a liner to the second baseman in his only at bat so far. South Carolina scored 4 in the first, 1 in the second. They've got runners at second and third here in the third, but Zach Mayo starts Whitney out with a called strike. That last ball that Burge hit, just one of those, makes you lose your mind. Goes right by the pitcher's feet and then right by the combination of the shortstop and the second baseman right up the middle. You just can't get to that. 1 ball, 1 strike now to Whitney. Low and away, 2-1. And one more time they'll step off. And this is more a matter of trying to gauge just how far is Colton Bolin being off third base. Not so much about what's happening at second base. Whitney fouls this one out of play. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a little bit of new darker gray cloud starting to blow back over us. That's not happiness. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Misses wide, 3-2. Well, South Carolina is just baiting Gibson to throw the ball toward the runner at second. They were trying to get away to get Bolin in from third. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Swung on and fouled out, and we'll do this one again. Logan Whitney fighting off a couple of pitches in this at bat. Cameron Pringle is the on-deck hitter for South Carolina if they can keep this going. Throw to third this time. Bolin safely over there. Fastball hit into right. That's going to get down for a base hit. Bolin scores. Behind him, sliding in, is Burge. 2 more runs come across for South Carolina to make it a 7-2 lead. Logan Whitney fought off a couple of pitches before he finally got one he could handle, and he singled into right field as he drives in 2 runs. And South Carolina has scored in every inning, and they'll bring a runner in for him. That was Ritchie that's come in to run, Bentley Ritchie. So Cameron Pringle up now. He's grounded out to the pitcher. First pitch, outside ball 1. So 4 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 here in the third. South Carolina put up 11 yesterday, and they're going after it again here today. Pitch misses outside ball 2. And make that ball 3 as pitch misses outside. Last hitter in the lineup, Baskins McGraw, waits on deck. Pitch high, ball 4. They threw down to first base. There wasn't any point in it. The runner was going to get second base anyway because it was a base on ball. So the catcher threw down that way, but there was really no point in that. Cameron Pringle was jogging down to first, and so Logan Whitney or Bentley Ritchie was going to get second no matter what. So now with 2 outs, number 11 hitter, Baskins McGraw. McGraw walked and scored in the second. Mayo wanting a different baseball after that one rolled out to and got flung around the infield, I guess is the best way to do that. There's McGraw up with runners at first and second, and the pitch outside, ball one. Mayo's pitch, ball two. Again, we talked a little bit earlier about some tough body language from kids from Virginia. Struggled with getting down a little bit early. One ball three inside. Well, top of the order is waiting on deck. A 3-0 count now on the number 11 hitter. Xander Mayo looked like he was cruising. Back-to-back strikeouts looking. Open up this inning. That one he finds a strike zone on. He's thrown 35 pitches already. And he is the third Virginia pitcher of this game. Nope, ball four, high and away. McGraw gets a walk for the second time in this game. Bases are loaded now for South Carolina.
Number 10, Ryan Watkins.
And it's top of the order, and Ryan Watkins up. Watkins has walked and scored and walked and got stranded at third. And it may be pitching change time. With 36 pitches, Xander Mayo is going to leave the mound. They'll hand the ball to a new pitcher. We'll warm him up, and we'll take a break. Come right back. Watching us here at the Ozone World Series. 7-2 lead for South Carolina when we come back here on Game Day. All right, new pitcher on the mound for Virginia. That is Olin Wright. Number 00. He faces the top of the order, Ryan Watkins. 2 outs, 7-2 ball game. South Carolina with the lead, and Watkins looks at a first pitch called strike. Wright started this game at third. He's played short, and now he's on the mound. Ground ball, big chopper toward third base. Grab there, tag put on, inning over. So 2 pitches is all it takes for Olin Wright to get out of the inning. 2 runs come across, though, for South Carolina as they pick up 2 runs on 1 hit, and the bases were left loaded. 7-2 our score. We'll come back top of the 4th after the break here on Game Day. All right, welcome back. Top of the fourth inning. Chuck Zach along with you here from Bossier City, Louisiana for the Ozone World Series, Division II. It's Virginia taking on South Carolina. We're going to have a new pitcher out there for South Carolina, Justin Smith, who had been the second baseman, is getting the start after Lance and Finson finished off with his 40 pitches the end of the last inning. So new pitcher in, 7-2 lead. He inherits a 5-run cushion to protect. This is pitcher number 3 for South Carolina. They started with Logan Hildebrand. He went 36 pitches. Anfinson threw 40, and now it's Cheston Smith. And I was looking at the field next to us during the quick run, and there was a 20-0 lead in the game between South Carolina's runner-up and Arkansas. So it looks as though South Carolina going to move into the winner's bracket. Arkansas going to be relegated down to the fighting back out of the loser's bracket. All right, away we go. Brady Deacon leading things off, and the first pitch a little bit low for ball 1. Deacon popped out to the second baseman in his only at bat back in the second inning. Threat of rain starting to pick up just a little bit over the top of us. Swung on and fouled out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. It'll be Deacon, Colton Gibson, Henry Wright, 6, 7, 8 for Virginia. They trail by 5. They picked up 2 runs yesterday in the loss to Texas. They've gotten 2 here in this game against South Carolina. Speaking of Texas, they are going to be playing North Carolina on this very field next. Swung on this one, hit well to left. It's over the head of everybody, rolls to the wall, around first and cruising into second base with a leadoff double is Brady Deacon. Colton Gibson coming up. Gibson's walked, stole a base, and scored a run. A big swing by Deacon. It's third, fourth hit now for Virginia today. There's Colton Gibson now, batting from that left side. Justin Smith, fastball misses away from the left-hander for ball 1. Almost thought that had a chance to get out of here. A little bit of wind help pushing it, but didn't quite make it to the fence. Ball 2 just a little wide again. Job for Chaston Smith is put it in there and let him hit the ball. If we catch it, we catch it. Don't want to walk people. And that one's inside, ball 3. Walks kind of have been the rule of the tournament so far. I've seen a bunch of them. 3 balls and no strikes. And that's a strike on the outside part of the plate. Gibson a little incredulous about that call. But it's 3-1 now. Henry Wright is your on-deck hitter. That's ball 4 wide. Starting pitcher Logan Hildebrand walked the first two batters he saw. Ended up walking 4 in his time on the mound. Second pitcher, Anfinson, actually had a little bit better control, although he ended up also handing out some walks. And now it's Chaston Smith. First pitch to right, a called strike. Smith, of course, walked. Back in his at-bat, back in the second. No balls, 1 strike. Smith stepping off. This one fouled out. No balls, 2 strikes. But nobody out here in the top of the 4th. Virginia have had base runners every inning. They've had a couple guys on in the first and scored a run, left a guy on. Scored a run in the second, left 2 on. Didn't score in the third, left 2 more on. This one is a little soft liner to second base, and that's a easy play for Anfinson, who's now playing at second base as he catches that liner for the first out of the inning. Brady Mays up next. He struck out looking in the second.
Number 99, Brody Mays.
Mays batting from the left side. First pitch, swings and fouls it out of play. No balls and 1 strike to Brady Mays. Here's the pitch. That one's pretty good. Sure enough, on the outside corner, 0-2. Chaston Smith working here on the mound for South Carolina. A little low and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Throw down to second. No play there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Devin Villar waiting on deck for Virginia. Pitch high, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Swung on, popped up in the infield. Anfinson coming on. He'll make the grab for out number 2. And with 2 away, Devin Villar up. Villar had singled his first time up. And he takes time. Oh, just as Chaston Smith was about to start his windup, Villar asked for time. Umpire gave it to him. It was pretty close. Looked like Smith was just about to start going. Here he comes. This one popped up. Catcher calling for it. Makes the grab. Whitney grabs that securely, and that ends the inning. 2 more left on for Virginia, as they managed to get no runs in this inning. There was 1 hit and 2 men left on base. That is 7 left on through 4 innings for the kids from Virginia. 7-2 our score. Bottom of the fourth coming up next when we return here on Game Day.
Once a director.
All right, welcome back. We have maybe a little more delays going on. There's some questions about lineups and players, etc. And we'll kind of give you the lowdown here, and you may be able to pick up on our mic outside a little bit of the conversation. But here's what's happened. The folks from Virginia have removed one of their players for disciplinary reasons. And as a result, when that player comes back up again, normally you would see how there would be an automatic out. Well, they're not doing automatic out with this. They'll just bring basically the next batter up. So they'll slide everybody up a spot and play without that player. That was a team decision. That was not an umpire decision. It was a team decision about removing one of their players. So there's a little discussions going on now between the umpires and the directors here about how they handle that. I think everybody wants to be on the same page. They don't want to make any mistakes. This is the World Series after all, and you don't want to make a mistake about how you rule, what happens in the batting order, etc. So they're having a little bit of that talk right now. That's kind of what's bringing up the delay. But South Carolina about to come back to bat here in the fourth. They lead at 7-2, and apparently the score on the field next to us is now 26-0. South Carolina's runner-up team, and this is a thing with the Diamond Youth. You get to have a runner-up to match with the host. So there actually are 13 teams here. There are 11 state champions. There's a host, and then a rotating states get to have their runner-up be able to come here and play. And this year it was South Carolina's turn. So South Carolina's runner-up out of PD region is actually showing up pretty well as they're taking on Arkansas in the opener here today. All right, we're back to action now. South Carolina will send Logan Hildebrand up to the plate. And he'll face Olin Wright, who was the last pitcher for Virginia when we ended the third inning. First pitch called strike. This one ground ball foul, and the count's 1 ball and 1 strike. Hildebrand has walked twice and scored a run. Top of the lineup for South Carolina has been on 7 of their 8 times up. Breaking ball called strike 3 as Hildebrand goes down on strikes, and forget that whole thing I just said about being 7 for 8. Out number 1, Justin Smith now coming up. Smith with a single, a run scored, and he's been hit by a pitch. And again, that little gray cloud's getting a little bit bigger. Pitch low, ball 1 from Olin Wright, 4th pitcher of the day for Virginia. Hayden Simpson, Riker Dawson, Xander Mayo, and now Olin Wright have all thrown. Ooh, and a pitch came in and got Justin Smith. He's been hit for a second time today. So with 1 on and 1 out, up will step Braden Busby. Busby with a double and strikeout. 7-2 the lead. We now roll into the innings where if this thing happens to become a 10-run lead, that would be the ball game. Pitch fouled back by Busby. Of course, right now it's only a 5-run lead, 7-2. Colton Bolin is the on-deck hitter for South Carolina. Yeah, I think Chaston Smith is going to come out of the game. Since he's pitching, Logan Hildebrand will take over running duties at first base. Throw over, and Hildebrand, who just checked in to run, he gets to face plant at first base. Virginia throwing over that way. Olin Wright took a deliberate look over there and then throws to the plate. Wide ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Wright didn't like the first call that was brought in. Here comes the second one. That one's fouled, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Braden Busby. Catcher got dinged just a little bit. So the umpire gives him a little extra time to be able to get ready to roll. Xander Mayo behind the plate. Here's the pitch. Whoa, it's a good-looking breaking ball, and he strikes out Busby looking. That's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. And Olin Wright has had the most success on the mound of any of the Virginia pitchers so far. Here's Colton Busby. Busby's grounded out and been able to get on with a walk and a run scored. We've got Mom right in front of our microphone, it sounds like, outside. Swing and a miss on a pitch that was inside, and it was an attempt to try to get out of the way for Colton Bolin. That just became an inadvertent strike swing in an attempt to pirouette out of the way. No balls and 1 strike for Bolin. Fastball misses away, and off goes the runner down to second base. One ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Bottom of the 4th inning, 7-2. South Carolina. Oh boy, kind of bent back Bolin again. Curve that didn't quite come all the way back. It's 2 balls and a strike. He pops this one right back to Olin Wright, who goes down to his knees to make the catch. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for the pitcher from Virginia. They hold South Carolina without a run for the first time today. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. 7-2 is our score. We'll take a break, come back for the top of the 5th when we return here on Game Day. All right, welcome back. We start the 5th inning. It'll be the number 11 hitter, Stephen Allen, leading things off for Virginia. Virginia finally got an inning without giving up a run. See if they can scratch back into this game a little bit. As Olin Wright, pretty nice job getting them out of any issues in the 4th inning. Had 2 strikeouts in that inning looking. Chaston Smith about to jump back in there on the mound as he faces the bottom part of the Virginia lineup. South Carolina's got the 7-2 lead. First game we've had that's made it to the 5th inning. The others have all been 10-run ruled. or timed out in the pool play yesterday. All right, here's Allen. First pitch, hard shot right toward third base and went right under the legs of third baseman Braden Busby. So a leadoff single for Stephen Allen.
0-0,
And Olin Wright steps up to bat. Right with a walk and a single. He started the game at third base. He's the pitcher right now. Virginia trying to see if they can get a little rally going. On deck, Xander Mayo. Breaking ball high, throw down to second base, and stealing that bag is Allen. Counts 1 ball, no strikes on Olin Wright now. Justin Smith, fastball outside, 2-0. Another fastball, this one back inside, catches the inside part of the plate. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Whitney setting up outside for Smith. Comes back, good pitch, knee high, right over the middle of the plate. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Olin Wright. Oh, another one. Bouncer toward shortstop. Throw a long one across. And they'll call him out at first base. Olin Wright argued he got there. Field umpire said no. It's a good throw from short. And there's the first out of the inning. Moving over to third base was Stephen Allen on the play. I think it's Hildebrand that's playing shortstop. Made that very strong throw across the infield. There's Xander Mayo now. Mayo has walked, singled. Hasn't come in yet to score, though. Runner at third with 1 away. Pitch misses, ball 1. We're coming up on 3 o'clock. In the middle of our second game. There's a strike. Again, weather became an issue this morning. They had a lot of rain here in the Shreveport-Bossier area early before we ever got here. In fact, enough to convince the directors to push back the start time of the first game from 10 o'clock. This one hit in the air, center field. Coming on and catching it. Runner thought about tagging. They held him at third. And there's our second out of the inning. Decided to push back the start of the first game to 11 o'clock, try to get past all the weather. And we did okay with that. And then we got weather anyway. A little bit of a rain delay in the first game. I've been weather-free so far here in the second, knock on wood, as we're playing here in the top of the 5th inning. 2 outs, and now it's Kendall Napier's turn. Well, let's see who's batting. It should be Napier, shouldn't it be? Hayden Simpson's come up, but Kendall Napier. Oh, they walked Napier intentional. I'm missing that? Okay, Napier at first base, and here's Simpson who takes a swing at the first pitch. Simpson's flown out and struck out. Napier apparently with the power swing. Jacked a home run yesterday, and the folks from South Carolina don't want to mess around with him, so they put him on first base intentionally. Now, Simpson with an 0-1 count, 2 outs, 2 on. 7-2 ball game. Nice pitch right on the black, and it's 0-2. Right on the outside part of the plate by Chaston Smith. No balls and 2 strikes as he's trying to work himself out of a little situation here in the 5th. Got him swinging. That ends the inning. No runs in the 5th inning for Virginia. There were no hits, no errors, and 2 men left on. Bottom of the 5th coming up, 7-2. South Carolina with the lead. They'll come to the plate when we return here on Game Day. All right, welcome back. Bottom of the 5th inning. Chuck Zach along with you. Coming at you from the Tinsley Sports Complex here in Bossier City, Louisiana. If you're wondering, you're about 5 minutes outside of Shreveport, about an hour and a half from Texarkana, about the same distance from Longview, just to kind of give you a geographic idea about where in the world the heck is Bossier City. South Carolina will bring the 6, 7, and 8 hitters up to the plate here in the bottom of the 5th. Lance Anfinson, Bentley Ritchie, and Parker Burge. And if you're wondering about Virginia, if they hold this score coming up in the 6th, they will have their 6, 7, and 8 hitters coming up for their potentially last crack at trying to win this ball game. Olin Wright on the mound. He finished off the 5th inning and was so far maybe the most impressive of the pitchers Virginia's brought to the mound. At least he's been the most successful. He's the only one to keep South Carolina from scoring when he's been out there.
Number 17, Lance Anfinson.
So Anfinson, Ritchie, and Burge to bat in the 5th inning for South Carolina. Anfinson, a walk and a strikeout. Bentley's got the same thing. Burge with a sacrifice fly and a single. First pitch, Anfinson fouls this one back, and it's strike 1. Chaston Smith has thrown 30 pitches so far. He may come out and try to get the first out or 2 of the 6th inning. The pitch bounces in. 1 ball, 1 strike before they have to pull him. And again, the rule about pitches is 40 and under, you can pitch the next day. 41 to 65, you've got to sit out for at least a day and a half, and then 66 or more pitches, you've got a 2-day wait before you can get back to the mound. Swing and a miss, off speed. Anfinson out in front of it. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Right delivers. Big breaking ball, a little bit high though. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Anfinson looked pretty good on the mound when he took his turn. The one ground ball foul toward the on-deck hitter and the third base dugout where South Carolina's hanging out. Anfinson had 3 strikeouts and a couple of walks in his 40 pitches he pitched. This one came almost too close to him. And the count fills up 3 balls and 2 strikes. Olin Wright, 4th Virginia pitcher. Swing and just got a piece of it to stay alive in the count. It wasn't a really committed swing, but it was more a protect the plate kind of swing. So we'll do the full count pitch again. Wright's set and then not set. He was ready and then backed away. Fastball past a swinging Anfinson for out number 1. Third strikeout for Olin Wright. And we've got one away here in the 5th.
Number 38, Bentley Ritchie.
Bentley Ritchie with a walk and a strikeout. Hanfordson going to work in a hurry. Ground ball toward third. Scoop, the throw a little high. Oh, nice play by the first baseman over there. He couldn't get his foot down in time, and Burge is going to be called safe at first base. Nice defensive effort over there by Napier, who got up off the ground but just couldn't keep his foot down. He had a little longer legs. That's an out. Instead, you get a base hit. We're having another discussion on the mound for the team from Virginia's. Bentley Ritchie's at first base. Coming up, Parker Burge. Burge with a sacrifice fly that scored a run in the first, singled, and then he scored a run in the third. He's coming up now. Can maybe hear one of the planes flying back in Barksdale Air Force Base. We talked about that a lot. There were a lot of planes yesterday. Not so many today. It's been a busier Thursday than a Friday around here at Barksdale. Home plate umpires breaking up the meeting on the mound. And in will step Parker Burge. Feels like you're right there at the airport. That microphone picked that plane up. Foul ball by Burge as he fouls one backward. For strike number 1, no balls and 1 strike. Logan Whitney waits on deck. 7-2 South Carolina. Sign our miss. Ball and a strike. Starting to handicap who we've seen and who may have the potential to win this whole thing. Of course, Florida right now looked extremely impressive. Well, not so sure that South Carolina is not one of those teams that may have that same kind of makeup. Two balls and a strike. Make it 2-2. Olin Wright drops that one in there. We'll see Texas in the next game and see what they've got. Oh, that one over the head of Parker Burge, who had a look of terror on his face for just a second. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Strike 3 looking. Came sidearm that time and got the strikeout. That is the 4th one that Olin Wright has thrown. Here's Whitney coming in now. Line out in a single. 2 runs batted in for Logan Whitney. This 2-run single. Scored a couple in the 3rd inning. Burge and Bolin scored on his hit. A little bit high with the breaker, and it's 1 ball, no strike. 2 outs here in inning number 5. Both strikeouts. This one hit to left. This is going to get down, and it's going to roll, and it's going to keep on rolling. And they'll hold the runners up at 2nd and 3rd. How about Logan Whitney? Turned on that one and gave it a ride into left field for a double. It'll hold up Bentley Ritchie at 3rd base. And now Cameron Pringle comes up. Pringle with a ground out and a walk, and we'll get Parker Burge to run at 2nd base for Whitney. Only 2 hits today. And this one's a ground ball towards short. Scoop the throw in the dirt, but in time is, tell you what, they're acting like there's more to do, but that was the 3rd out of the inning. Kendall Napier with that backhand scoop on the short hop got the out, and that ends things. So no runs for South Carolina here in the 5th. They got no runs. There were 2 hits and 2 men left on base. Top of the 6th coming up. Virginia needs at least 5 to keep this game going. We'll see what they do when we return here on Game Day. All right, welcome back. Top of the 6th inning. New pitcher on the mound for South Carolina. Braden Busby will take over. It's Chaston Smith, who had 30 pitches that he had thrown already. And they decided, we're going to go to pitcher number 4 to try to finish this thing off. Busby will face Brady Deacon, Colton Gibson, and Henry Wright. 6, 7, 8 hitters in the order for Virginia. So for Chaston Smith, in his couple of innings worth of work, no runs came across. He did a very nice job. He, let's see, struck out 1, 2. Didn't walk but 2 and gave up 2 hits. So it was 2s across the board for Chaston Smith, who basically held the line while he was out there. All right, he's getting Busby to finish up his warm-up tosses. And we'll be ready to start the top of the 6th inning. And the winner of this slides into the 4 o'clock game tomorrow. Where they will face either Florida or, again, I don't know if it was Alabama or Tennessee that won their game. Tennessee won. Okay, so Florida or Tennessee will face the winner of this game at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. They'll have to play at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, so they're going to have to get 2 games going tomorrow. 1 ball, no strike, swung on. Deacon lifts this one foul out of play. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. The loser of this game plays at 2 o'clock tomorrow. And that's a to be determined. They'll either see the loser of, they'll see the loser of Mississippi or Georgia. Pitch just outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's Busby's pitch. Ground ball past the infielders on the left side for a leadoff hit. Brady Deacon now 2 hits today. He had a double back in the 4th inning. Leads off the 6th with a hit. Colton Gibson up now. Gibson with a pair of walks, a stolen base, and a run scored. Fastball high, ball 1. Logan Hildebrand started this game on the mound for South Carolina. And I think we may have had a balk. Sure enough, yep. Balk by Busby, and South Carolina's coach going to come out and explain to his pitcher what he just did wrong. So runner moves over to second base on the balk. A little different. You can't wind up without the pause with out runners on base. Nobody on base, you can do whatever you want. Runners on base, you can't do anything that would be considered deceptive to the runner. So we'll try it again. Runner at second base. Gibson with a 1-0 count. And pitch came in and got him. Hit him on the shoulder, and Gibson fired up going down to first base. So runners are at first and second now. Virginia, which hasn't had a lot of offensive life in this game, all of a sudden shows a little bit here in the sixth. First two guys get on, Deacon and Gibson, just like they did in the fourth inning. Problem is neither one of them got to score that inning. Here's Henry Wright now, right with a walk and a line out to second. Ball one. Virginia fans trying to urge on their guys. It's been a trials and tribulations game for them. They can come back to this. It's something else. They still got some work to do, obviously. 5 runs down, nobody out. That's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Wind picking up just a little bit, blowing out toward left. Pitch high, 2-1. This starts to get a little interesting if Wright reaches base. Ball, oh, strike 2. Just caught the outside part of the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out, top of the 6th. Runners on first and second for Virginia. Oh, it's a good pitch. Froze Wright, who can't believe he struck out, but you got to swing at it. Wright goes down with the strikeout. First strikeout for Braden Busby, and there's 1 away. Brady Mays up now. Mays has struck out and popped out.
Number 99, Brady Wade, Mays.
First pitch, kind of try to check his swing. Mays called for the strike, though. Strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. Busby with a throw over to first. Waiting on deck, Devin Vire. It's the number 10 hitter in the lineup. Stephen Allen behind him. They're at the bottom part of the order for Virginia. 1 away. Swing and a miss, and the count's 0-2. Pitch high and inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Brady Deacons down at second base. Colton Gibson's over at first. Single and a hit batter. Open up this inning. Just off the plate, 2-2. Pitch to Mays, swung on and fouled back to the screen. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Big exhale on the mound from Braden Busby. Swing and a miss. There's out number 2. Mays goes down on strikes, and Virginia's down to their final out. Myers singled and fouled out to the catcher. Yeah, parents trying to urge Devin Valier on. Need a hit here. Busby's pitch way outside, ball 1. It's low and inside, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Virginia trying to get back around to the top of that order. Valier swings at that one. 2 balls and 1 strike. Good pitch by Busby. Busby throwing a lot of pitches here in this inning. He's already at 21. Misses there, and runners are going to move up a base. It doesn't matter a whole heck of a lot, except for it takes away the force out at third or second if any ball was hit close to those fielders. They could have just touched their bag. Now that's out of play, and you've got to make the throw across. 3 balls and 1 strike. Pitch to Valier, swing and a miss, and it's 3-2. Well, Virginia's down to their last strike. Valier took a pretty good cut at that last ball. Here's the pitch from Busby. Nope, missed wide. Bases are loaded. Yep, here's Stephen Allen. Allen has grounded out and singled. Stole a base. He gets on. Olin Wright, who you just saw talking to him, would represent the tying run. So runners on all 3 bases for Virginia. 2 outs. Pitch misses. They're going to send the runners. And from third in to score is Brady Deacon. He comes across on the wild pitch. Gibson went up to third base. Valier went to second. And now it's a 7-3 game. And it's the slow walk now for Coach Hildebrand. He's taking the ball from Busby. So we're going to have one more pitching change, it looks like, before this game's going to be over. And Colton Boland's going to get a chance to come up here and throw. He'll be the 5th pitcher of the day for South Carolina. You had 10 pitches left for Chaston Smith, and you wonder, should I have let him out there for maybe another part of an inning and see if he can get a couple outs? He was kind of humming along, but Busby wasn't bad. He was close on a lot of those, but just couldn't quite finish it off. So Boland's going to finish his warm-ups, and he will face a full count for Stephen Allen. Tell you what, you'd asked me an inning or two ago, I would have thought we would never have been in this spot. Virginia's hung around here, and maybe it's a matter of South Carolina's let them hang around here.
Okay.
I'm going to go back to the fact that South Carolina left bases loaded in the second inning and the third inning. 2 runners on in the first and the fifth. That's 10. And 1 runner on in the fourth. 11 men left on base for South Carolina. It just never got that bust this game open kind of hit with runners on. Now it's a 7-3 ball game. It was a single by Deacon to start the inning. He moved his second on a balk. Gibson was hit by a pitch. Wright and Mays struck out and then walked to Devin Vaier. And now Stephen Allen steps back in. I believe it's a 1-0 count. I think that's what it is, not 3-2. Here's the pitch. That one low and away, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. First base is open. 7-3 ball game. This one hit in the air and foul, just out of the reach of South Carolina's Lance Anfinson, who's now playing at first base. 2 balls and 1 strike. Second baseman Stephen Allen. Hits a ball hard right past the umpire. 1 run scores. Second run going to be well held up at third base. And we've got a 7-4 game. Number 11 hitter in the lineup now with 2 hits in his last 2 at bats. He drove in Colton Gibson from third. They held up Devin Vaier at third base. And so here we go. Olin Wright, tying run coming to the plate with 2 outs here in the 6th. First pitch, ground ball towards second. Big chopper. Smith's got it. Throw over to first in time, and that'll end it. 7-4. It was a tight finish. Virginia gave it a whirl here in the 6th, but South Carolina holds on to get the win 7-4. They will play tomorrow at 4 o'clock in the afternoon against either Florida or Tennessee. Virginia's going to play at 2 o'clock tomorrow, and we don't know yet who they're going to get, the loser of either Mississippi or Georgia. Well, exciting game number 2. We're going to take a break. We'll come back for the next matchup here on our field. That'll be Texas and North Carolina. You've been watching World Series action here in the Ozone Division 2.